speak to you?
Today on the show, the billion-dollar valuation of
Balogun and Broad does. Let's talk about the stock market and Alaba market. Let's talk about share IPOs and diesel supply LPOs. Let's talk about Broad Street.
The Nigerian Stock Exchange recorded an all-time high of...
And Balogun Street.
The maximum I was spent on fuel to and fro was 4,000.
On Balogun and Broad, Wednesdays at 5.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. If the CBN doesn't reissue old Naira notes, will its obeying the Supreme Court make a difference? That's my question today on the Realest Business Show on radio. On Balogun and Broad, we talk about how the issues in the news affect businesses of all sizes and the people who work for these businesses. And this is coverage of the Naira redesign, Naira note swap. It's really affecting businesses. Elections are not the only thing going on. We've been covering this since, my God, how many months now have we been covering? This has been the only topic on Balogun and Broad for months now. Now, the CBN has complied with the Supreme Court judgment, extending the validity of the old 200, 500, and 1,000 Naira notes until December 31st, 2023. That's today's business hard fact. That means that the old notes are legal tender again. This is not news for you anymore. However, there's a problem. Ever since the CBN first announced the redesign and swap, Nigerians have been returning their old notes to the banks. The banks have been returning those notes to the CBN. Most of the old notes have been sucked out of the economy into the hands of the central bank. So it's not enough for the central bank governor to say, okay, you can trade with the old notes again. We don't have old notes again. Now you hold on, release and give us. How is that going? Vaughn just told us during the headlines that banks in Lagos have started reissuing the old notes again. So when you go to a bank, you can get money over the counter. Someone called me yesterday that they went to a bank. I think it was UBA. I'm not sure. Went to a bank and they were able to get 20,000 naira over the counter. So they're back to doing that thing where you get 20,000 naira over the counter, 100,000 naira in a week maximum. So has that been your experience since this? Since the CBN said, oh yes, we are complying with the court order, have you been able to get money? Have things eased up? Has it become easier to get money? Have you tried to withdraw from a bank, from an ATM? What has your experience been? It's been at least 48 hours since CBN made that announcement, I think. Almost 48 hours. Have things eased off? Eased up? 0700993 993 993 0700993 993 993 01465 7190. You can also send a message to us on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080 959 75805. Have you tried to go to the bank? Is it better? Are things better? 99.3. Hello. Sorry about that. Call back if you can. How you doing? What's up?
Hello, Sandra.
Good evening. What's your name, ma'am?
My name is Ogechi.
Ogechi.
How are you doing today?
I'm very well. How's the money situation on your end?
Yeah, I was coming back from midday mass today. I branched First Bank VGC. I just went there to lay a plane of my alert that refused to drop.
Okay.
So I saw that there was nobody at the entrance anymore. And I asked the security man, please, are they giving us money? He said yes. I said, eh? He said yes. Okay. I climbed up. I got there. I saw few people, about 8 people, lining up to collect cash. And I asked them, how much are we entitled to? Since now they tell us how much we will collect from our money now. They say 20,000. I say, oh, about 20,000.
He said, Ababa.
At least I feel from my collecting.
He said, Ababa.
Yes, I don't need all,
yes.
I don't need all those words. It's too much. When I keep roll up.
Okay.
And yes, I took money. They gave us old money, 500 naira. I requested for 200. They said they don't have.
Okay.
So there was none in the ATM.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm glad that you were able to get some money. So good news on that end. 99.3. Hello. Hello. Good evening. What's your name, sir? Sorry about that. Call back if you can. 99.3. Hello. Hello. Hello? Anybody there? All right, there's no one there. Call back if you can. We've got messages on WhatsApp. Let me take a look at some of them while I wait for the phone lines to recalibrate. This one here says, I withdrew 20K a couple of hours ago over the counter at FCMB Onikbano branch. If the funds are sent to the bank on time, it will ease the crowd. Over the next few weeks, things will get back to normal. It's old money, 1,000 Naira denomination. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with me. We've got... oh my gosh. 99.3. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Auntie Sandra.
Good to have you on the show, sir.
Auntie Sandra, you don't agree pick my call again. What should I do now?
I don't know who they call me now. So how I take notes?
Kingsley from Jacondo.
Kingsley from Jacondo, welcome. I don't know say now you. So say I know.
Auntie Sandra, I like your program, I beg. They do well.
Thank you.
This one we don't dey place our mind. We will come and go vote again. We no one eye again go back house. So.
You no go use one eye go back house. But tell me about Naira first. How that one they go? You don't see money to collect?
I don't see money collect. So even though POS don't they get money now.
You see
but they no gree bring the price down. They want me all of us go queue for ATM.
So POS still they charge plenty. POS still they charge plenty for money.
See the so like present now, I just come from Jaconde market. So God don't make me 10,000. You go pay 2,000.
Still, even now.
I swear with my life. Now my life I take swear.
Now wow.
So Auntie Sandra, they like you. Everything you're there okay because we too suffer.
No.
From 1985 where I born. Now me they school. Now me they survive myself. Now me pay never bill. Landlord they threaten. Nothing just free for the country.
Okay.
That way would they work with upon all this will happen. They no put dash transfer when they go back house. I the driver, I no go lie for you.
Okay.
So the activities they down. The common man in the street now they suffer this thing pass.
My brother Pele, Kingsley, thank you for calling. But I happy say you don't see money collect. But he they pepper my body say POS still they collect 2,000 on top because they say go stand for bank now. Well now so they be shy with demand and supply. But by the time we CBN go pump money, back, I hope say they still get money because I should say some of them I don't see that video of money where they don't shred because that's what happens actually. If you don't want money back into the system, you shred it and dispose of it. That's totally normal. So I do hope they still have enough to pump back in so that more people have access to cash. 99.3. Hello. How you doing? What's your name?
Fine, my name is Olasukomi.
Olasukomi, welcome. Talk to me. Sorry?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. Talk to me.
Yeah, this is where that guy talk, no be live. Me, I still buy 5,000 yesterday, now 500.
You buy 5,500?
I tell you.
How much did you buy 5,000 before?
5,000 before now. Say as this is the soft now new money. But now old money they sell for me 500.
Okay.
And the new money now 1.5.
Before, if you want buy old money before, how much they pay as services money?
That time now 100 naira now.
100 naira that time, eh? Okay. Me I don't know. Sorry. Say me I know they collect cash and transfer they do, so I don't know all these ones.
Now 100 naira. They come they tell me I can't say the new money and the old money. It could be the different. No be system. The two say some people like to collect the new money. You don't like old money.
You don't like old money, and they see they spend 1.5 for old money.
Yes, ma'am.
For new money.
3.5 for new money.
Jesus Christ, my brother. Thank you for calling me to share. 99.3. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing? What's your name, sir?
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name, sir?
Yeah, Sandra, please. God bless you.
Thank you. Bless you as well.
I want to ask a question.
Okay.
Why should the old note still remain in the bank? When central bank they should pack the old note to them and begin to bring out new notes. We need new notes now. The reason why they print new note is to spread the new note. We don't need no old notes. Why the old note still remain in the bank? That's the question I want to ask my sister. God bless you.
Bless you as well. Well, the old note did not remain in the bank. They took it back to CBN, which is why it was hard to see money before. But our Supreme Court has now said that CBN should make old note legal money again, central bank now has to bring it out again for banks to be able to give you. Now, some of the banks had some old notes that they had not taken to CBN yet. That's one they're now giving you. We're waiting for CBN to bring more money back to the banks. Hopefully, they'll bring more money back to the banks, and we can be using that alongside the new notes. The reason they are bringing back the old notes is because they didn't print enough new money. Remember that CBN Governor Emefiele told us that this new money that they are bringing, that they're not even going to print plenty of it because they are trying to keep money in circulation small. And at the time when he said that thing, both economists, all of us said, this thing you're doing will hurt the economy. This thing you're doing will hurt the economy. CBN Governor ignored all of us and did what he wanted to do. Now, results have come out, and Nigeria's headline inflation rose in February, just like the economist said that it will. When inflation happens, how does it affect you? Well, it means that the price of your jollof rice just increased from what it used to be in January to what it was in February. It might increase again from what it was in February to what it currently is in March. That's how all these things you hear in the business news, headline inflation, this, that. What it means is that it's now more expensive for you to eat your ewa going, or for you to eat your jollof rice, or for you to eat your agidi. By the way, Lagos, do they still make agidi? I was craving agidi the other day, agidi jollof, that one that has bone inside. They still make it. I really want to eat agidi. Are there people that make? I'm glad that this is a business show, so please, if you are a business person that makes agidi, that agidi jollof that has nice peppery stew and bone in the middle, if you're that person, please, can you reach out to me on social media so I can buy agidi from your hand? I haven't eaten agidi for a long time. I think the last time I ate agidi jollof was in the 90s, and I would like to eat it again, you know. But that's as an aside. So I do hope I've answered the question from the gentleman who called me earlier. 99.3.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, ma'am?
Yeah, my name is
Chinwe, welcome.
From Ikorodu.
Good to have you on the show. Talk to me.
Yeah, the old notes. There's a market called Ladega here.
Okay.
They've not started receiving it. I don't know why they're not collecting it there.
When did you go? When was the last time you went to the market?
Yesterday.
Yesterday they still didn't?
They did not. They said no. Then there was a man that asked one POS. I was at the bank, Zenith Bank.
Okay.
The lady said for new notes, it's 3,000 naira for 10,000.
Okay.
Then 1,000 for old notes. The man was so angry, like, I would arrest you now, madam, and call the number of Lagos State to come and carry you. She ran away.
No.
So please, government should help us.
And she ran away.
Really... Yes.
I wish that man had called. Because
government should help us. It's not easy. Most people are not collecting it. They refuse. So you have to move to the next person. That's around the garage, Benson side in Ikorodu.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for calling, Chinwe. 99.3. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good evening.
Good to have you on the show. Good evening.
Austin speaking.
Talk to me, Austin.
Yeah. I manage a farmer anyway. I started collecting the money since yesterday.
Okay.
And I can see some customers are wearing a cheerful look instead of having that grooming faces on daily basis.
Okay.
So everybody out there should embrace the situation.
Okay.
Federal government has no other option than to obey the Supreme Court order. The December 31st, we can be able to, start a new course. But for now, both the new and old Naira notes have come to stay. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much for calling. Anonymous from somewhere in Nigeria says, right now my cousin is at the hospital battling appendicitis. My mom went there to check on her and she said she was hungry. Heading to a POS stand right at the hospital there, the woman said if my mom wants to collect old notes 1,005 on 5,000, 2,000 naira for new notes. My goodness. I do hope that, within the coming weeks, these POS people will chop their money because there'll be a lot more currency in the market. There'll be a lot more notes from the CBN in the market because that's what needs to happen. Oh, the central bank needs to follow up this announcement by actually putting the old notes back into circulation, because right now the CBN itself still believes that removing cash from the economy is a good thing. The Supreme Court judgment will not change the CBN's mind. So right now, they're obeying the letter of the judgment by saying, yes, the notes are legal again. But the judgment gives them the leeway to go against the spirit of the judgment by simply refusing to re-release the old notes. The judgment did not force the CBN to reissue the notes. The judgment did not mandate that there should be a certain amount of notes in the circulation. The judgment did not say anything about all the cash that people were forced to deposit since November. And because the judgment was silent on all of these things, the CBN is able to just hold on to the cash. And that means that the cash scarcity may not improve. I hope it does in the next few weeks if the CBN actually puts money back into circulation, but I don't know if the CBN will. I'm glad that people have called and said, at my bank, they gave me 20K. They've gone back to the normal cash limitations that CBN announced first before the Naira redesign went into circulation. So I'm glad that you have banks that are giving money out. However, I wonder if there are banks that are still rationing cash. Have you tried to get cash from a bank? Maybe yesterday, maybe today. Was there a limit? Is the cash scarcity improving? Is the cash scarcity the same? We're also getting reports from those of you who have called in so far that you go to some markets and they're still not accepting the old notes. And then we're getting reports from some people that POS sellers are still taking really high charges. How is that affecting businesses around you? The pharmacist says, people are now coming to buy money. They're not morose anymore. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy for the pharmacist. How about you? What business do you do? How have things been since yesterday and today? How markets? Make I ask like that. How markets they go? If you're a bus driver, I want to hear from you as well. If you are a Keke Napep driver, I want to hear from you as well. If you're an Okada rider, I want to hear from you as well. At least Uber riders, those ones, Uber and Bolt, those ones are collecting a transfer. How about you that is doing normal yellow taxi, talk to me about that situation too. 0700-993-993-993 01465-7190. Hi, how are you?
Hello, Sandra.
Good evening. What's your name, ma'am? How you doing?
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
What's your name?
It's Omo from Majek.
Omo, how markets?
Market though, my sister. At least I can smile today.
Oh,
I started collecting the money.
Okay. We thank God. We bless God. Mm-hmm. Have you tried to go to the bank?
No.
Okay. All right.
Well, stay blessed. You are doing a good job.
Thank you. Thank you very much for calling, Omo. 99.3. Hello. Hello.
Hello, President Sandra.
Good to have you on the show. What's your name, sir?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I and my colleague this afternoon, we drive around Ikoyi, about 3 banks. They said they finish the morning. They started in the morning. So before 2 this afternoon, no money. Then we'll come back. The guy who operated POS. Hello, are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you, huh?
Then 5,000. The guy collected 750. That is how my colleague managed to get 5,000 this afternoon.
Okay.
But for me, I will waste a Friday. I'll still go back to my bank to check.
Okay.
Thank you, President Sandra.
Thank you so much for calling and sharing. 99.3, hello. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Yeah, good evening, Sandra.
Good evening. What's your name, ma'am?
Alex from Lekki.
Alex, talk to me. How markets?
So yesterday, after we heard about the circular and the whole Lagos State saying they can now accept the old Naira notes and everything, I had to go to the High Court, to do some things, and then when you want to do something at the Commissioner of Oaths, you need to pay in cash. So on my way, I said, okay, fine, let me just look for a POS person and just pick up money for the transaction. So when I got there, I saw the person had old Naira notes. I said, okay, fine, it's fine. You can now use the old notes. I got like 3K. I went to court. They said they're not collecting. I'm like, wait, they said we can collect those. Have you not heard? They said, no, that I have to go to CBN. I have to do this. They refused. They actually had to give me account number to go to the bank and then deposit the old Naira. I went to the bank. The bank said that they're not taking old notes. I was like, really? I had to, when I came out of the bank, I had to look for people who were selling things along the road because I had no other cash with me. So I had to look for people who were selling things to buy. I had to buy things I didn't even want, mineral, coke. I'll ask them, please, are you collecting old notes? They'll say, oh, yes. I'll just give them 1,000 naira. I'll buy coke, even though I don't actually need it. I had to start spending all the money. I had to even trek from the court to Obalende just to see if I can break the 1,000 naira notes.
My goodness.
To 200 naira notes before I was able to get the sum I needed for the thing I wanted to do.
My goodness.
It was crazy.
I can imagine. I'm sorry, Alex. What bank was this at?
FCMB.
Now, wow. Okay.
It was really crazy. It was really crazy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The bank even told me I had to yesterday morning. It was happening around 11 a.m. ish. They had to tell me to go to CBN and get a code. I'm like, but you guys are already aware of these things. They said that they can't take the old notes from me unless I have code from CBN. So, but I think it's better today. I've heard from people that there's more that the old note is in circulation more today than yesterday.
Okay, well, thank you so much for calling. Let's take a look at messages we've got on WhatsApp now. This one here is from Oluwole. Oluwole says, Sandra, the issue bothering my heart now is there won't be a repeat of what happened earlier this year in December again. That people will have to queue up at banks to deposit the old notes again if CBN still wants to stand by their plan for cashless policy. Emefiele said we had 3.28 trillion naira in circulation, but in circulation before, about 2.7 trillion was retrieved, which is now going back into circulation. He said he printed just 500 billion, which he claims to have been released into the public, and there are no plans to print more. If they stand by this, I fear we'll have a repeat of this saga come December. All right. Thank you for your message. Chinedu from Ayobo says, on the Naira saga, I met a construction worker yesterday from Benin Republic. He showed me a bundle of new Naira notes, about 20,000 Naira in total. He said he transferred money to his relative in Benin Republic coming to Nigeria. He brought it for him, so while our currency is scarce in Nigeria, they have it in abundance in Benin Republic. Chinedu, that's a really strong allegation you're making there. Chinedu. We've got this one here. Sandra, yes, so the banks still ration cash. For my bank, 20K was the maximum they were giving out. As soon as I came out, I bought banana from a woman. She said Zenith Bank was giving out 5K as the maximum. Someone here is laughing at me because I want to eat agidi jollof. Don't laugh at me. Give me agidi jollof. We've got Bioya from Yaba who says, I got 10K from GT Bank, 1,000 Naira notes. I wanted more, but they no agree. The queues at the banks were not so long. Okay. So in the next few weeks, we may be able to see things ease off if CBN actually follows the spirit of this verdict and not just the letter of the verdict from the Supreme Court. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. If you just tuned in Lagos, let's take a break. When we come back from this break, we'll talk a bit more about this Naira redesign brouhaha. We've been covering this thing since it started. We're continuing our coverage of the Naira redesign and the note swap. If CBN doesn't reissue old Naira notes, will its obeying the Supreme Court make a difference? Don't go away.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
With 3 spectacular debaters, Group C of the I Beg to Differ Tournament of Champions could be a fight to the finish. Emmanuel Nadi has only ever lost once to Tanvita Kaushik. She's here to prove that she can beat anyone on a good day. Nicholas Musokoya barely missed the August 2022 final, but gave us fireworks along the way. He would have met Fabian Chibondo in boy champion must fend off these two challenges if he wants to be champion of champions. This March, it's the I Beg to Differ Tournament of Champions on 99.3 Nigeria Info and Wazobia Max TV.
Moves must be made. My people just to work hard. Dreams and challenges motivate us. But sometimes, when the journey gets tiring, all we need is something to push our limits.
Reactor, ignite your energy, bring out your inner champion. Reactor, ignite your energy, bring out your inner champion.
Reactor Energy Drink. What you need to push your limits.
Reactor Energy, push your limits. No dey tire. No way, Reactor Energy Drink. Reactor.
Push your limits.
If you have ever had to pay out of your pocket to repair your car after an accident, you know how painful it is, especially these days that money isn't easy to come by. Now is the best time to insure those things you care about: your car, house, businesses, and other valuables. Let Hares Insurance take care of the bill rather than spending your hard-earned money to replace or repair your valuables. If your property is stolen, Hares Insurance will pay to replace it. If there is a fire, Hares Insurance will pay to fix the damage. If your property is dented in an accident, Hares Insurance will take care of the bill. This is truly the best time to insure the things you care about. Call Hares Insurance, that is HEIRS, on 0700 434 7746 or WhatsApp chat on 0912 222 2200. You can also visit www.haresinsurance.com for more information.
So, as you wake up one first check highlight for early momo, you can remember say time for school runs don reach o. Baller wey sabi dey wan 4% hand for there. How you go do your thing? Come still catch up with your game. That na baller wey sabi. How you go do your waka? Come still watch the game full time. Abi, come on, baller. Showmax dey your side. Sake of say dem summer you with better leagues for any screen, anytime, any day, no matter where you dey. For chicken money wey be 3,200 naira a month. Live from SuperSport on Showmax Pro. Make you sign up for showmax.com.
Our people dey always talk say to get money, person must to work with your body. But since star 73342 hash with Glow don't enter the matter, na only your hand you need to win instant money on Green Lotto with your Glow SIM. Yes, so just dial star 73342 hash on your Glow line to buy Green Lotto tickets with your airtime. Play your favorite games, check your results, and get your winnings as airtime or direct transfer to your bank account, because instant money don't dey your hands, yo.
Unlimited.
So special to us, golden more. So special to us. I can't go a day without this goodness in a bowl, giving energy to make it stay golden. Golden more. So special to us.
Are you looking to study in the UK in 2023? Study Affairs presents to you a one-of-a-kind UK Destination Fair 2023. Connect to representatives from 10 recognized UK universities in Lagos. At the event, you get to learn about scholarship, application guidance, career counseling, visa application, and how to take advantage of a 2-year post-study work opportunity. Admission is ongoing for both postgraduates and undergraduates for September 2023. Come along with your documents for on-the-spot admission. Meet with the delegates on Wednesday, 22nd March 2023 at Ibis Hotel, Toyin Street, Ikeja, Lagos. Time 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. For inquiries, please call 0908 807 2039 or 0809 600 1055, or you can visit our website on www.studyaffairs.ng to register and secure a seat now. At Study Affairs, we are committed to supporting you all through the process in realizing your ambition.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, Lagos. You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Yemi Kale says he thinks the Naira redesign will shrink Nigeria's GDP. Kale is the immediate past statistician general of the Federation and head of NBS, the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics. And yesterday he went on Twitter and he went off. Dr. Kale tweeted, quote, I am estimating a reduction in Q1 2023 nominal GDP by between 10 to 15 trillion due to challenges sourcing cash in Q1 2023. This is because about 40% of Nigeria's 198 trillion naira GDP in 2022 is informal, of which about 90% is cash based. Further, 30% of formal sector GDP is cash based. This means 106.9 trillion naira of total GDP is cash based. End quote. If you do the math, Lagos, it shows you that 54% of economic activity in Nigeria uses cash. 54%. That's a bit more than half. And suddenly, the cash in circulation has dropped by at least 60%. And Dr. Kale believes that this will slow our economy down and cut GDP by at least 10 trillion naira. He mentions the parts of the economy that he thinks will be the most affected. He said, quote, of the 46 economic activities, agriculture, some manufacturing activities, especially food and beverage, textiles, apparels, trade, arts, entertainment and recreation, accommodation and food services, road and water transport and other services are expected to be the most affected, end quote. If your business is in one of these sectors, I really want to hear from you. I want you to tell me how this cash crunch has affected you. Is it affecting you in agriculture? Last week I was telling you about the agri-tech startup that my husband was advising, and how they've stopped making sales because farmers don't have money in the north. They can't sell their crops in the north. So if you are in the agri sector, are you facing something similar? Food and beverages manufacturing. How is this, the cash crunch? How did it affect those of you in the food business? Bookers, hawkers. How did that affect you guys? Then you have road and water transport, especially people like Keke and Okada. All these 200 naira drop, 500 naira drop. How do they manage? And then Dr. Kale made a point that I've been making over and over and over on Balogun and Broad. He talked about the need to weigh a policy before you implement it. The need to do a cost-benefit analysis. Here's how Dr. Kale explained it. He said, quote, there is nothing new or wrong about currency redesign or cashless policy if done for the right reasons and at the right time. But every policy will have pros and cons and will benefit some but not others. There's no policy that won't affect someone negatively or that won't have costs. The idea is to do a cost-benefit analysis, look at the overall impact of any policy and how and when it is to be implemented across the economy and not just in one or a few areas, and deciding if overall the benefits outweigh costs. If yes, then the costs are acceptable and a policymaker can or should introduce palliatives to make the costs bearable to those that will be negatively affected by its implementation. If result of analysis is the implementation of the policy and its implementation will be more detrimental to the entire system than beneficial, even if it benefits a particular area or sector, then it clearly isn't a good idea to go ahead. End quote. Those are the words of Yemi Kale, not my words. He was the head of NBS, the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics. Until very recently, he just left. He's the immediate past statistician general of the Federation. And he said those things. If you listen to Balogun and Broad a lot, you know that over and over, I've asked whether the CBN did a robust cost-benefit analysis before announcing and enforcing this policy. Some supporters called me at the time and they said, oh, it wasn't necessary. At first, I was asking about the impact on POS operators. When the POS operators themselves started shouting, CBN made some adjustments. And when that happened, I started asking you, how come CBN did not anticipate that this POS thing will be a thing before they announced the policy? Doesn't that indicate that a cost-benefit analysis was not done? And I hope you noticed what Yemi Kale said about palliatives. He said that even if your cost-benefit analysis shows you that the policy is good, there will still be people negatively affected by it, and you must have a plan for giving them relief. Has CBN done this? Has anyone seen or heard a plan for palliatives for the hawkers or the market vendors or the keke drivers, the people who trade in very small amounts, 50 naira, 100 naira, 200 naira, 150? Kale had a few more words though. He didn't stop there. He tried to think about some ways that the policy may benefit the economy. So he said, quote, inflation though might slow down, not because of an increase in output of goods and services above available cash to spend, but because of lack of cash to chase more of less same amount of goods. The consumer price index is about 50% food, of which several are perishable in the absence of storage. Assuming there's a decline in inflation, which I anticipate though marginal when MBS publishes their inflation report, we can then compare if the gains in inflation in Q1 2023 outweighs the expected decline in GDP and possibly other macro and socioeconomic variables. End quote. He tweeted this yesterday, by the way, Lagos, before we got the MBS report today. And this report shows that inflation did not slow down. It actually sped up small. So even these possible benefits, it ended up not happening. And then Dr. Kale ends his thread on Twitter with hope and a warning. He said, quote, employment is also tied to GDP growth. A slowdown in growth will have a negative impact on employment. On the other hand, both a reduction in inflation and growth in GDP can improve poverty rates. So it will be interesting to see which dominates overall economic well-being. End quote. Lagos, we do not have a reduction in inflation. So the question now is, are we going to have a drop in GDP? And if we do, will it lead to a drop in employment, as Dr. Kale predicts? I hope not. Was this policy worth all of this? What's your own cost-benefit analysis of the Naira redesign? 0700993 993 993 01465 7190. Hello, thanks for calling us.
Hello, Sandra. Alex again.
Alex, welcome.
Yeah, and Sandra, you see everything that Dr. Kale has explained there. I would like to ask the CBN two questions. Who was your consultant before you took the decision to redesign? Which consultants did you hire? You know, maybe even an international profile kind of consultant. Which consultant did you hire? The second question is, who was your project manager? Like a project management company. If the CBN had hired, do you see INEC and the CBN right now, they look like two evil twins. Or the evil twins. Yes, no, it's the same thing. Which consultants did you use and which PMP did you use?
Okay.
If you had used those two, I can guarantee you, Sandra, that all of those questions that you are asking, brilliant questions, would have been answered by those two professionals so that the impact would be a bit soft for even those that it affects the most. Civil servants should stop thinking that because they have the money, they have the budget, or they have the authority over the budget, then they can do big things. Serious people hire professionals. I've said this on your show, or maybe it's Sheriff's show, so I said it once, that even little me, I have a project that I'm doing, but because of the outcome that I want for this project, I have taken it upon myself to get a PMP because of the kind of results that I want for my client. Which consultant did the CBN consult? And then two, which project management company did they hire to be able to anticipate some of these things, draw up an execution plan, then execute to near perfection. That's what they do. That's what they do, Sandra.
Okay. Thank you very much for calling, Alex. Alex says that's what they do. Okay. 99.3. Hello.
Hello, Sandra.
How you doing? What's your name, sir?
Yeah, this is CY from Akoka. CY from Akoka.
Welcome, CY from Akoka. Talk to me.
See, to me, I will not agree that CBN don't have professionals or consultants. See, if you understand how the regulatory authority work, the Apex Bank, CBN, they have enormous, how would I call it, experts, renowned financial experts in auditing, in everything, or whatever thing there. The problem the CBN has is that there was no proper planning because the executive are trying to, the presidency, the executive, they are trying to usurp the rights of CBN. CBN is CBN is a Apex Bank that have their rules. Assuming CBN was allowed without political interest to do this, or this Naira redesigning on their own, it will come out fine. But there was an agenda there's an agenda that has caged the hands of CBN not to work according to what they want to do. If you understand, because I am in the financial industry, I have a free CBN work. But if you're not there, you will not know. Let's shift a little bit from politicizing this economy and allow institutions to work.
However,
we know that Nigerians can do something.
However, all these announcements, we heard it from Governor Emefiele himself. So are you saying that Governor Emefiele was bowing to the president and agreeing to deviate from laid down best practice?
If you look at the act that set up CBN, CBN is supposed to be independent on their own. But CBN, before they make any pronouncement, they will wait for the body language of the president.
Okay.
It's not supposed to be like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for calling. I was a bit confused there because on the one hand, he was saying, let's let institutions work. But on the other hand, he was saying in this situation, the institution did not work. And I wonder if the CBN is at fault, there. But I think we finally found middle ground before he left the conversation. 99.3, hello. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
My name is Oladepo Jesloba from Ipaja, Lagos.
Welcome. Talk to me.
Yeah, I've been listening to the analysis and the information being given concerning the CBN, Urahala, all this while. And I want to say that what we Nigerians need to understand is that this particular policy it has its own positive side, which we all need to understand. And the manner of execution is what is giving the problem. But because the issue of money involves virtually everybody, both the educated, the enlightened, and the unenlightened. That is why the fire seems to be burning more and more now. So, if we look at other agencies, like the one mentioned, the INEC, the other regulatory agencies, even the National Communication Commission and the rest of them, they've been having all this issue of wrong execution of things. But because it involves money that everybody has to make use of, that is why the hotness is as high as this. One, I just want Nigerians to understand is that with time, all these problems will eventually fade off. But the level to which Nigeria can be patient to accommodate the whole problem is what is what making the whole situation to the so.
But
terrible.
can you separate a policy from its execution? Because execution is policy.
Yes, we know that, but like they used to say, Nigerian factor. We cannot separate this, but the Nigerian factor, just like I just said not long ago, concerning the politicization of things like that. So since they have put the involvement of politics into these things, as you can see, that's how things like that tends to be. Because even the system itself is not even in wholesomeness. The CBN actually discovered that the economy was already in comatose. You understand now? So what they are just doing, this policy is just like a patch-up. But the same patch-up thing is not working. Because if CBN had left the economy to be going the way it was going, with the level of inflation, I don't know what we would have been saying by now, or even the next 3 months or so. But since they felt they could rescue at that point, politics entered into it, and a lot of things went wrong. The execution and everything just went. That's just the way it happened. We know how the inflation was going. Even before the introduction, the redesigning of it was very, very terrible. The inflation was going high. I don't know how the government could be watching the inflation together. But since we are not even manufacturing, most of our things are foreign things. So all these things joined together make the execution to be very, very awkward and terrible. That is just the way I see it.
Thank you very much for calling. You know, he says Nigerian factor, but when we say Nigerian factor, does that mean that we should expect policies to go bad, and we shouldn't push back when they do? And when we say with time these problems will end, that may be true, but what happens to the people who lose their businesses or lose their lives? You believe those who have been calling to say people are dying. I haven't seen personally anyone who has died, but I've heard several reports, none of them evidence-based. But you have people who are losing their businesses or their lives while being patient for these things to work out. What happens to those people? Even if I have no proof of life, at least we have proof of businesses having to close. 0700-993-993-993. Let's go to WhatsApp. We have messages there. Harry says, we waste too much money hiring consultants and project managers for government agencies that have in-house experts in almost every field and standard procedures for everything. You won't believe how much corruption goes into hiring these consultants. The main problem of currency redesign and cashless policy was the emphasis on the political objectives of reducing vote buying. All right. Dario says Dr. Kala is spot on. The CBN governor has very poor knowledge of basic Adam Smith economics, to be honest. Unfortunately, Nigerians are blaming someone else instead of the initiator of the idea, Emefiele, who was hailed due to myopia. Dario, thanks for your message. We've got this one here. No, that one's talking about a message from earlier on. This message here says, to answer Alex's question, CBN probably visited a soothsayer. We've got this one here from Akos in Badagry. Akos says, what Chinedu said is very true. I live at Owodeakpa, very close to Benin Republic. Most of our people who engage in smuggling buy the new notes from there at high charges. It's a reality. Ooh, Ako, thank you for your message. We've got this one here. Sandra, if you're expecting Agidi Jollof. All right, thanks for your message. We've got this one here from Kingsley. Kingsley says, I was able to get 5K from Fidelity on Awolowo Road in Ikoyi. I spent the old note yesterday and today as well. I've put 5K in all my bank accounts so that I have option of getting at least from a bank if some fail, because today a lot of them did not pay anything. Kingsley, thanks for your message. President Sandra, yes, so I was able to withdraw cash 10K at UBA Awolowo Road Ikoyi today. I'm so happy, Chinasa, with that message on WhatsApp. Also on WhatsApp, Nuruddin in Ijede says, we've started collecting the old money here in my area. I withdrew 5,000 naira with charges of 100 naira. Okay, so I think it's just some of the traders who are just doing anything they like. We've got Frances, who says, Frances, the numbers to call are 0700. You're missing a 00 for men there. 0700 993. So there's no 3 before the 9, Frances. It's 0700 993 993 993. That's the number. Then for women, it's 01 465 7190. So these numbers you have, you know what? I'm just going to write it out for you because these numbers you have in this message are not our numbers by any stretch of the imagination. We'll take a final call and then bring you the news at 6. Sorry about that. Call back if you can. Hello, how you doing?
Good evening, Sandra.
Good evening, sir. What's your name?
Yeah, this is your Ghanaian brother, Audu Sali, who calling from Obanikoro.
Good to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you very much. You see, the CBN governor thought he was, going to stop corruption, vote buying, kidnapping. Because the way I remember last year when you bring this program on your radio station, others called and turned everything to politics. Anybody that called at that time and said the policy is no good, they say you are a criminal person. Yeah, you see, you want to buy votes. We have you see, now everybody has been served breakfast. Those the people who support it at that time and the people who don't support, we are all served the breakfast. We all suffered. And the inflation, it's like Nigeria didn't gain anything from this thing that the CBN government introduced. Instead, Nigeria suffered a lot. People that normally send money from abroad to their people here, they couldn't send money. Because when you send the money, where are you going to get that money? And at that time, you see the governor making, boasting. No going back. And people are supporting. Even imagine people it's like demonstration on his behalf that the policy is good. And now we are all suffering. At times, when there's something like this, people should not take it easy. It's not everything like politics. Okay, you do it because of a certain person, and the person didn't even buy anyone. So what are you going to say now? Sandra, we are doing a good job. Good evening.
Thank you very much for calling, my Ghanaian brother. Let's take a final message from WhatsApp because we're out of time completely. This message here is from Taiwo in Magodo. Taiwo says, I visited Mushin yesterday to service my laptop. I heard the manager of the place telling his secretary to deposit some old notes at the bank immediately. I asked him to give me 30K and I transferred to him, which I did. I spent like 5K in Mushin and in Magodo area. I spent 6K too. So I can authoritatively tell you that people transacted with the old notes yesterday in Mushin and Magodo. Taiwo, thank you for being my eyewitness reporter. We'll take a break. When we come back, if you're interested in exports, I have an expert who will join me from 6:15 to talk to you about exports. Don't miss it.
Wait, yeah. Eating. No, it's not your business.
That money, the pass is good. That finally.
We should be patient and pray to God that God is going to answer our prayer.
Please, this is not all about prayer. It's not like